Okay, everybody, how you doing? Before I head into my continuation of my explanation about my trip over to Spain, I just want to bring up two quick points. Okay, shouldn't take too long. Okay, so I can actually talk more about the trip rather than blabble on about God knows what. Um, so number one, and the most important point, is that I traveled. Oh my goodness, somebody almost hit me. But in other news, I just traveled all the way to the next town over from me, and I am now currently sitting in a parking lot of, let's see, Mexicali, Little Caesars, H&R Block, Supercuts, and a Dollar Tree just to bring this update. And why am I doing that? Well, that brings up my second point, is because I'm currently on my way. Well, I'm obviously parked now because apparently you can't really use your cell phone while driving because apparently it's kind of illegal now in the state of Massachusetts. But I will be on my way after I record this video to go pick up a whole bunch of wood, okay? Because tomorrow we're having a fire because it is Mother's Day, okay? So I have a big property. It's a whole 2 acres, okay? And basically right in the middle of one section of it, we have a big fire pit where we have these huge bonfires. It's a great time. In order to keep like the sacred part of it like alive and well, I'm not gonna record it because you just need to be there to see it. So, since it is Mother's Day, I do want to quickly, give a shout out to all the mothers out there. So, big happy Mother's Day to everybody. Make it worth it, even though we're in quarantine still. Just have as much fun as you can. So, huge shout out to the moms out there. It's for tomorrow. But another, big point to continue on is my trip to Spain. Okay, my trip to Spain was pretty sweet. It was pretty exciting. Obviously, I've been going into a very large detail about how the airline lost my bag and how at first I was upset with it. And, how I did that first day of hiking, without my stuff, basically with everything that was on my back. But the good thing was that I did have water to drink, okay? Because I did have one of those water pouches in my backpack. So that was kind of clutch, I've got to admit. And so as we went on towards the hike, and I don't know, the last 2 videos that I made, including this one, people like want to stare at me or either hit me, and it's really bugging me. It's like, come on, just let me do my thing already. Like, mind your own business. Come on. But anyway, I had water to drink. Okay, so we went on that second day of the hike. It was one of our longer days, and again, it was downpouring on us the whole entire time. And again, I was super thankful of all the conversations that I had. And what was really cool about our trip was that as we kept walking more and more and more, we kept seeing the same people like over and over again, which was awesome because the more we saw people, the more we started talking to them, more like really neat conversations we had with them. And so we met this really cool lady from Ireland, Deborah, which is awesome. And every time we went to a new major turning point or major area, we were able to get a little cup of coffee, a little pastry, and we were also able to have them stamp they gave us a little kind of passport booklet sort of thing at the beginning of the trip. So that way, every time we went to one of these places, they could stamp, these little passports. So that way, they have, at the end of the trip, we could go to the final place, and they could give us a certificate of completing, a certain section or certain leg of the trip, which is basically proof that we did it, which is awesome. And so continued that throughout the trip. Again, like I said, this second day was one of our longer days. Okay, definitely physically intensive, physically demanding. Okay, and the town that we went into that night to stay, the hotel was awesome. Really neat area, right across the street from a cute little church. And it's basically a small little village that was right on the major riverway. And really interesting story I've got for y'all for the following morning, which I'll save off for the time being. But it was interesting because that night, we got ourselves settled. We kind of, relaxed a little bit. Then we had, and then right before we had dinner, myself and the few other folks that still did not have our bags Ashton went out shopping. I did a little shopping. You know, the school paid for it, which is great. So huge shout out to my college. And yeah, we just got basically some necessities, and you know, especially like a toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant. I'm definitely kind of rattling off stuff that I would have needed. You know, a couple extra pairs of clothes that I could change into, some socks. You know, so it was nice to at least have that extra layer of, you know, just stuff to change out of, because at that point the clothes I had on was starting to get a little smelly, a little old. Okay, we definitely needed those little backups for sure. You know what I mean? Like it's just like sports. You know, sometimes like the old guys like Tom Brady. You know, they kind of get old after a while. They start going downhill pretty quick. So, eventually it's good to bring in the rookies. You know what I mean? So. And so that's what, we're kind of doing for that. And so a little while, like literally minutes after we got this stuff, our company that we did our travel company that we would plan this whole trip through finally decided to call us and be like, hey, yeah, so by the way, your stuff will be at your hotel like in a few minutes, like literally a few minutes. Okay, so we went back to the hotel, wasn't there. We had dinner, and we waited quite a while, still wasn't there. So I finally decided to come, like, maybe 9, 10 o'clock that night. But, the most important part is that I finally, after a few days, finally had my stuff, okay? I was extremely happy, okay? And I was so happy that I finally decided to play cards with everybody, like, that we went on the trip with. So we had a great round of cards that night, and we had a great talk with each other. And then we finally went to bed that night. And I not only slept like a rock, but I slept super well, okay? And so that following morning, we woke up. And, yeah, we just got on our way, and we had a great hike. And again, the whole idea behind the whole hike was just that whole idea of simplicity. And so the next video that I'll have for y'all is the very end of the trip, okay? The very last moments of Spain, okay? And then after we finish up with the trip in Spain, I'll move on to one of the other numerous trips that I have. And again, like I said in the last video, we will have another trip series that I had, because I have multiple trips that I've taken and multiple stories from all of those trips, okay? Because I've been very fortunate to be able to travel the world, see many new countries, many new sites. And again, like I said, also I'll be starting up my sports stuff on Monday, and I'll be really hammering home all of my sports extravaganzas. And yeah, Stadium Sports Ventures is looking up, okay? So stick with me, okay? And this stuff, I'm telling you, y'all are awesome, but you gotta pull. In order to be awesome, you gotta be even more awesome. Okay, keep watching these videos. Keep telling your friends, because you know what, you're doing good, but not good enough. Okay, so let's keep this stuff going. All right, peace out from the Stadium Dream Team.